I really want a kid of my own. My husband, now named John, said in a sarcastic tone. I couldn't hold back anymore and blurted out. What? Aren't I right here? Up until now, John has constantly berated me for our inability to have children. Even now, he's holding my sister's baby in front of me, as if to make a point. Huh? John opened his mouth in surprise. Despite all the evidence, is he really pretending to be oblivious? I won't let him. You all will see, I'll drag you down to hell with me. My name is Natalie Johnson. I'm a 25-year-old housewife. All right, it's ready. I was preparing dinner in the kitchen. As I opened the big pot, a refined spice aroma wafted through the air along with the steam. I tasted the curry from the pot. The spiciness is okay, the meat is tender, yes, it's just how he likes it. Just as I sighed in satisfaction, John came home. I'm home. My husband, John, had returned. I went to the entrance to greet him. Welcome back. I made your favorite curry today. As I took John's bag at the entrance and was about to head back into the room, he suddenly said, Hey! I felt John's fingers grip my shoulder firmly. I felt a sharp gaze piercing through my back. So? How did it go? Today was the day, right? His words made me catch my breath. My heart raced and I felt dizzy. Answer me! I swallowed hard and then opened my mouth. It didn't. What? I gathered my courage and said, It didn't work. This month too, we didn't conceive, again. I clenched my hands tightly. Seeing my reaction, John let out a big sigh. Again? Why can't we have a child? Making curry just to appease me, how obvious. I'm sorry. But don't make excuses. All my friends had kids right after getting married. Thinking of names, buying baby clothes, they all seem so happy. I want kids too. But we've only been married for 3 months. We don't need to rush. He clicked his tongue in annoyance. John stared intently at my face and then, with a sneer, said, Maybe you're just infertile as a woman. Why don't you go see a gynecologist? Snatching his bag from me, he stormed off to his room. I covered my face with my hands. I too long for a child. To carry a new life, to feel its preciousness. To be moved by every step of my child's growth. But maybe I'm not qualified for that. My parents disappeared before I could even remember them. They vanished, leaving me and my twin sister behind. I grew up without knowing a parent's love. Can someone like me really be a good parent? It's something I always worry about. But I can't give up. My desire for a child is genuine, and I'm sure someday, God will bless me with one. I need to stay strong and wait for that day. And next month, there's the long-awaited wedding. It's a bit late, but that only makes me more excited. All right. Smile, smile. I went to call John for dinner. Today is his birthday. I've decorated a cake and prepared a present. Waiting for John's return, the doorbell rang. It's rare for someone to ring the bell. I hurried to open the door. There stood a woman. As beautiful as an actress, with a stunning face and figure. She casually brushed her lustrous black hair off her shoulders. Hello there. It was my twin sister, Brittany. We're fraternal twins, looking nothing alike. Seeing my sister's face, I was taken aback. Brittany? What are you doing here? Oh, just thought I'd visit. But today's John's birthday. We were going to celebrate just the two of us. I texted you, remember? Brittany gasped, putting her hands together at her chest. Oh, sorry. I forgot. I've been feeling lonely since you got married. Ever since I married, Brittany has been visiting unexpectedly, sometimes weekly or even every 3 days. This has limited the time John and I have alone, and we haven't been able to talk much lately. However, whenever Brittany says she's lonely, I find myself unable to say anything. After all, we're the only family we have. Hey, Natalie. I'm giving you this bag. I haven't been using it much lately. I opened the paper bag my sister handed me. Wow. This is from a famous brand. It's okay, it's okay. I usually give them to friends anyway. This time, I'm giving it to you, Natalie. Carry this when you go out for dinner with friends. Oh, but you don't have such friends, unlike me. Look at this. From the party I threw recently. Brittany showed me a photo. It captured her and over 100 friends enjoying a lavish dinner. I chuckled. Brittany, you're so popular. You're the exact opposite of me. You're amazing. You work hard, have money, and a boyfriend, right? Well, of course. It's pretty standard for me, Brittany said, beaming with pride. I smiled wryly at her response. What? Suddenly, she froze looking at the table. Then burst into laughter, holding her stomach. Wait, did you make this cake yourself? Yeah. Is it weird? Buying cakes from a store would have been better received. Making it yourself is just thankless. Poor Natalie. Brittany leaned in and smiled at me. But that's what's cute about you, she said with a grin. Then her expression changed, eyes sparkling. Oh, I have some news to share. I'm home. Just then, John came home from work. We stopped talking to welcome the man of the hour. As I was cutting the cake, John and Brittany started watching TV and getting excited. This actress is so pitiful. Couldn't have kids until she was 40. That's just miserable. Yeah, really. They agreed. They often shared a laugh over celebrities. Like a real couple. Look, baby pictures. My heart skipped a beat at those words. Children are a symbol of happiness. I believe it's a woman's mission to give birth. A woman who can't have children isn't really a woman. I agree. Brittany, we really think alike. We do, don't we? I quietly continued serving the cake. Right, Natalie? John teased me. But Brittany suddenly covered her mouth. Oh, sorry. We're not talking about you, we're discussing something else, she said, then smirked at me. It was an expression I'd never seen on her before. Filled with definite malice. The reason Brittany visited was to see her sister because she was lonely. That's why I couldn't say no. But, was that really the truth? After the party ended and Brittany left, I received a message on my phone. I'm pregnant. Remember I said I had news? I'm planning to get married too. Sorry for finding happiness before you. My family was becoming happy. I should be delighted, ready to celebrate. Yet inside me, something dark was brewing. Time flew by. And today was the long-awaited wedding. We chose a small local church as the venue. It was somewhat modest, but I wanted to save as much money as possible for the child we might have someday. After getting dressed in my wedding gown, I spent some relaxed moments in the dressing room. But that peace was shattered in an instant. Bang! The door flew open. I'm here! Congratulations, Natalie! Startled, I turned to see my sister. But an even more shocking sight awaited me. Brittany, that outfit! What? What is it? I swallowed hard and said, You can't wear white at a wedding. Yes, Brittany was wearing a pure white dress. She clasped her hands together in an exaggerated manner. Sorry. I tried to avoid it, but I just fell in love with this dress, and besides, Brittany said, letting a sly smile creep onto her face. It suits me, doesn't it? This dress. She struck a pose with pride, tilting her head as if looking down on me. Then scanned me from head to toe. Is that a handmade dress? It's more like a dress than a frock. Not the fluffy kind you'd expect at a wedding. Yes. I have a favorite designer who tailored it specifically for me. They embroidered it with my favorite flowers. Brittany only smiled with her lips. Well, good for you. Embroidery can feel a bit old-fashioned, but it suits you, Natalie. It's nice, right? Thanks. I forced a smile on my face. Hey, it's time, John said abruptly as he entered the dressing room. He didn't even say I looked beautiful. I let out a deep sigh. The ceremony went smoothly, and the reception began. Now, a speech from the family. Brittany stood up to the microphone. Instantly, the men in the room started murmuring. Beautiful. Gorgeous. I wish I could marry someone like her. Their gazes went beyond her dress, entangling with her beauty and figure. Ahem, hello everyone. I'm Brittany, the sister. Today, there are a few empty seats, but thank you all for coming. At the reception, about 30% of the guests were absent. We had prepared seats for Brittany's friends, but none of them showed up. As you can see, my sister doesn't have many friends, just about 8. She spends her holidays cooped up, eating sweets and tapping on her phone. Sad, isn't it? There were chuckles from the audience. I felt the blood drain from my face. What was Brittany saying? This is a wedding, a reception. But I love my sister just the way she is. John, please make her happy. Brittany's angelic smile elicited a round of applause. I didn't even want to think about for whom that applause was meant. After the reception, I called Brittany to the dressing room. What was that about, Brittany? Those empty seats were for your friends, right? Making it seem like it was my fault. I pleaded desperately, but Brittany just laughed and patted my head as if I were a child. Don't be mad. If you worry about such things, life will be hard, you know? My friends said it was a great ceremony too. John chimed in nonchalantly. Why are you doing this? They laughed at my panic as if it were a joke. I was left standing there, unable to comprehend the absurd reality. Soon after, my in-laws arrived. They comforted me and scolded John and Brittany. They apologized, saying their son was at fault. I felt a bit better, but doubts about the two of them started to arise in my mind. The discomfort I had been feeling was slowly but surely accumulating. 10 months had passed. John, my in-laws, and I were driving to a certain place. John seemed excited in the driver's seat. I'm really looking forward to this. Aren't you, Natalie? I remained silent, looking down. We arrived at Brittany's house. John and my in-laws started to gather excitedly around the living room sofa. She's so adorable. So glad she was born healthy. At the center of it all was Brittany, holding her baby. She ran over to me with the baby in her arms. Look, Natalie. Isn't she cute? She looks just like me. Brittany was radiating happiness. But her eyes were wide, seemingly enjoying my reaction, her mouth twisted in a smirk. Congratulations, I muttered, looking down. Wow, she's adorable. Can I hold her? Of course. Brittany giggled as John held the baby, his eyes shining. Babies are so cute. Look, Natalie. A symbol of happiness, right? Yes. You jealous of Brittany? That's why you can't get pregnant. John held the baby as if to flaunt her in front of me, grinning at me. I wish I had a kid of my own. At that moment, something snapped in my head. What? Isn't she right here? Eh? John's mouth fell open. Huh? My in-laws' eyes widened in shock. Pointing at the baby in John's arms, I spoke clearly, loud enough for everyone to hear. Right there. Your child. Your and Brittany's beautiful baby. The atmosphere froze in an instant. John's face turned pale, and Brittany's face contorted. I pulled out photos from my bag and scattered them on the floor. The photos showed John and my sister heading to a hotel together. I know everything about John and Brittany's affair. As I declared this, Brittany burst into laughter. Stop it! This is just some kind of edit, right? Don't be silly. The silly one is Brittany. I suspected you too, so I installed cameras in the house. Then, on a day I was away, you too. I pulled out my phone and played a video. The living room displayed John and Brittany's affair. Brittany's face turned beet red. What is this? Stop it! Stop it now! She lunged at me, snatched my phone, threw it against the wall, and stomped on it repeatedly. The phone's screen shattered, emitting strange noises. I watched her coldly. It's useless, Brittany. She stopped tearing the photos, looking up at my words. Useless? What do you mean? Then a thunderous shout filled the room. John! My father-in-law had grabbed John by the collar. Did you betray Natalie? With her own sister? You monster! Having a child too! How are you going to take responsibility for this, you idiot son? My mother-in-law was in tears. John trembled under their accusations. Wait! It's not even proven that the child is mine and Brittany's. Natalie is just trying to frame me. DNA test. Huh? I declared loudly. A DNA test will show who the child belongs to. Why not go to the hospital? But... John stammered, but still tried to plead with his parents. Look, Natalie can't even get pregnant. A woman who can't bear children isn't suitable as a wife, right? Are you out of your mind? A cheater like you is the one who's not suitable as a husband. That's... John's eyes darted around, avoiding everyone's gaze. Seeing this, my in-laws let out a heavy sigh, turning away. Say something, Brittany. Why did you do this? Betraying your family is a terrible sin. Brittany shuddered, then said, It's not my fault. It's Natalie's fault. Her teeth gritted, she glared at me like a demon. It's all because you stole my first love. What? I was completely taken aback, having no recollection of such a thing. Ever since our parents left, I've always acted tough. But you were always so weak and annoying. And yet, the guy I first loved rejected me for you. I like Natalie. She's so pitiful. I can't leave her alone. That's when I swore. If you want to be so pitiful, I'll make sure you are, thoroughly. First, I wanted to make you feel lonely. I kept telling you, our parents are gone. We're all alone. And you became such a gloomy child, unable to make friends. So pitiful. Then, I wanted to instill in you a sense of inferiority. To make you think, Brittany is amazing. I'm worthless. So, her giving me brand name items and bragging about her many friends was all to make me feel inferior. And probably, taking John away too. You see now, right? You're beneath me. Betrayed by your husband, hated by your sister, you're the most pitiful woman in the world. Brittany laughed triumphantly. But I felt nothing. I'm pitiful? I see, that's what you think, Brittany. Understood. She must have expected me to lose it. But she just stood there, baffled. But that doesn't matter to me anymore. Now, I just hate you. I loved you so much, and you've been manipulating me all this time. It's terrible. So I've decided to return the favor. Everything you've done to me. I mimicked her laugh. And Brittany backed away as if she had seen a monster. Was my face that scary? Stay tuned, both of you, I said as I left the house alone. Months passed since then. John handed me divorce papers and left. Probably to my sister Brittany's place. Today, I'm at a wedding in a grand church in New York. Wearing a thick, long cardigan over my dress. Making sure it's completely hidden. The place is packed with over 100 guests. I can barely see the bride and groom. They probably can't see me either. The couple enters, applause erupts. The minister begins. Do you, John, take Brittany to be your wife, through good and bad, rich and poor, sickness and health? It's my sister Brittany and John's wedding. I learned about my sister's wedding a month after the chaos unfolded. Brittany had announced her shotgun wedding with John on social media. The post even detailed the wedding plans. They sure started preparing early. They must have been preparing for a while, probably even before my own wedding. That's why Brittany didn't invite her friends to my wedding. I didn't make invitations for my sister's friends. She said she'd create a group chat and confirm the attendees herself. She wanted to reduce my burden with the busy wedding preparations. I thought it was her way of being thoughtful. But now, I think she never even created that group chat. She lied about everyone attending. No one was invited to mine. So, no one came. A simple answer. Reflecting back, it seems John only invited casual acquaintances. I've never met his close friends, before or after our marriage. Whether John was already connected with Brittany before marrying me or it was just bad timing, I'll never know. But one thing is clear. They want this to be their only wedding. They want to erase all their time with me. I can't forgive that. What was the time I loved John, the time I spent for him, all for? Destroying one person's life for their own happiness is unforgivable. I reaffirmed my resolve for revenge. After the ceremony, the reception began. It was a standing party, perhaps due to the crowd, bustling with people. I hid myself in a corner. Here's a special telegram announcement. From the groom's parents, who couldn't make it today, we have a special movie. Please watch. The staff announced proudly. John and Brittany's eyes widened in surprise. The screen suddenly lit up, displaying John's parents. They were smiling, but their eyes were sharp, like predators. It's finally starting. I watched the screen and smirked subtly. John, Brittany, congratulations on your wedding. Congrats. The couple in the video smiled at each other. Thank you all for coming today. As a token of our appreciation, we'd like to give you a gift from us. Excited murmurs rose from the crowd. What is it? A gift? John's mother interrupted. It's a gift of words. Now, over to you. Leave it to me. John's father's face, previously relaxed, suddenly turned stern. There's the bride, isn't she? She's John's mistress. And not just any mistress, but his wife's own sister. Do you understand what we're saying? The people there aren't just a fresh bride and groom. They're immoral cheaters. We will never accept this marriage of these two. And we're cutting ties with them. Stop the video! At that moment, John's scream echoed as the video abruptly stopped. But it was already too late. The guests were speechless from the shocking revelation. John stood up and shouted, Everyone! That was just a joke by my parents. A bit too stimulating, huh? The guests began to murmur. That's right, it was just... Brittany grabbed the mic, trying to explain, when suddenly... I snatched the mic from her. It's true, I said, with just one word. Then, I removed the cardigan I was wearing. Underneath was a white dress. A year ago, I married John in this dress. Remember, John? John turned pale and froze as I looked at him. I took advantage of this moment to pull out something from an envelope and scattered it around the venue. They were photos of Brittany and John's affair. And of my wedding with John. There were enough copies for all the guests. I looked around the chaotic venue and took a breath. I did it. I really did it. After everything, I collapsed in a daze. Suddenly, someone grabbed me by the collar. Looking up, Brittany's eyes were wide open in shock. Why are you here? I didn't invite you. I didn't tell you the place or time. I couldn't help but laugh at her panic. What are you talking about, Brittany? You told me yourself. On social media. Hinting, right? I figured it out quickly. Brittany's wedding announcement had the date clearly mentioned. Every time she updated her social media, she described the venue and her careful selection in detail. It must have been a taunt towards me. I'm having such a beautiful wedding. Not like yours. But that became my clue. I found it easily online. Social media is scary, huh? Why did they let you into the venue then? Your name wasn't on the list. I sighed and gave the obvious answer. Because I'm her sister. Brittany's friend was at the reception. She recognized me, so she let me in. They wouldn't turn away the bride's sister, would they? You mean you were behind that video too? You brought it as a surprise, keeping it a secret from me? We didn't invite his parents. Yes. His parents sided with me. They came to my house, apologized, and said they couldn't accept John and Brittany's happiness. So, we all planned today's event. I pointed around the venue and laughed. Look, everyone's leaving. Brittany turned pale as she watched the guests leave. Wait! Her friends turned back in unison. Oh, Brittany. Why are you leaving? Those photos. The photos might be fake. But we don't want anything to do with you. Being seen with someone who might have had an affair lowers our value. Value, but we're friends, right? Funny, considering you lured us with branded stuff. We befriended you for that reason too. So we cooperated, right? For group photos to show off to someone. That's... Let me say this one last time. You see us as numbers, right? The more, the better. The individual doesn't matter. That hit the nail on the head. Brittany bit her lip. Goodbye, Brittany. Her friends left. In the silent venue, only Brittany, sitting on the floor, John, holding his head, and I, eerily calm, remained. Well, Brittany, see you around. I left the venue. A few days after Brittany's wedding, I was relaxing at home. But I knew this peace was temporary. The doorbell rang. I checked the peephole and opened the door. Natalie! John lunged at me. How dare you ruin our happiness with such a foolish act? You're unbelievable, you wicked woman. Brittany appeared behind John and pushed me. I hit the wall and slid to the floor. But I didn't care. I said coldly, You two never learn. But it's good you came. Huh? Brittany crossed her arms and looked down at me. John, check your email. There's important information. What? I had sent an email just before opening the door. Attaching photos and videos. Photos and videos? You're doing that again. John begrudgingly checked his phone. His face turning angrier. He turned to Brittany, thrusting the phone at her. Brittany! Who's this old man? The photo showed Brittany in revealing clothes, holding hands with several older men. The video captured her entering and leaving hotels with them and receiving money. It's sugar dating, right? Brittany. I stated matter-of-factly. Brittany, you always buy so many branded things. Probably to show off to me. It's impossible on a regular employee's salary. So, I did some digging. It was almost like playing detective, pretty fun actually. You! Brittany snarled. I turned to John, who was hanging his head. Hey John, did you do a paternity test? What? Remember, I said a DNA test would prove if the child is really yours and Brittany's. No need for that. I mean... John gasped, realizing the dreadful possibility. John! I said clearly. Whose child is it, do you think? In that moment, John grasped Brittany's hand tightly. He looked directly at Brittany and murmured. Brittany, did you betray me? After all you've done to me, even the child. What are you talking about? The child is yours. Are you doubting me? Of course. How can I trust a woman who does sugar dating in secret? You trust Natalie over me. So, you'll agree to a DNA test then? We'll go to the hospital tomorrow, okay? John clung to Brittany's hand, probably wanting to believe her. Well... Brittany stumbled over her words. Her reaction was evidence enough. John ruffled his hair in frustration. Damn it! I thought having a beautiful wife would be a bragging right, but look at this mess. You sisters have ruined my life. John stormed out, lashing out at furniture and appliances on his way. Brittany, pushed aside by John, sat down on the floor, sulking. Brittany. I looked down at her and taunted. How does it feel now? Brittany twitched in response. When the test comes out, John will leave you. And now, you have no friends left. Brittany glared at me. I have friends. Not everyone left me. So, what messages did you get then? Huh? Brittany exclaimed, clearly not expecting such a question. Right after the wedding. Did anyone show concern? Ask about the situation? Offer support? Brittany awkwardly looked away from me. I got messages. When Brittany made that weird speech to discredit me when I divorced John. Sure, I only have 8 friends, but all of them were concerned and reached out. Brittany, you have way more friends than me, yet nobody worried about you. I heard Brittany grinding her teeth. John left you, and now you have no friends left. Brittany, that's pitiful. I said sincerely. Brittany suddenly looked up, raising her voice. Pitiful? Me? What are you talking about? That's just your perception. I'm not pitiful. I'm beautiful, have a great figure, and men lavish me with gifts because I'm worth it. The one who's pitiful is you, with nothing to your name. I, feeling no emotion at Brittany's angry voice, quickly responded. Sure, let me say this then. Brittany, you're not better than me. Not before, not now, not ever. Huh? I used to praise you a lot, right? Saying wow about your branded items, your many friends. You wanted me to say it, didn't you? To admit you're better than me. Yes. So what? I never once thought you were amazing, not even for a moment. What? I glanced at Brittany's bag tossed on the floor. I have zero interest in brands. I don't care about having few friends. I don't aspire to have many. That's my value system. So, Brittany, you never had the upper hand over me. What? No way. You used to say you envied me, thought I was amazing. I said that to make you happy. Because we're family. I wouldn't show indifference when you're proudly sharing. In a word, I was flattering you. You took it seriously. What? Because, Brittany, I loved you. We were the only family, and I didn't want to lose you, so I was considerate. Brittany shouted with a trembling voice. Don't lie. You were troubled because you couldn't have children. That doesn't matter to me anymore. I replied with a sigh. With John, I thought I had to have children. But life isn't that simple. There are different people, different ways of living. I'm done being obsessed and suffering over having children. What then, what I did? Brittany began to tremble violently. I dragged her out of the house, unable to move on her own. Goodbye, Brittany. I closed the door with a thud. Afterward, Brittany and John divorced. Turns out, the child wasn't John's, according to the DNA test. Their affair spread quickly, as they had invited 100 people to the wedding. John and Brittany lost their jobs, couldn't find new ones, and are struggling with day labor. I moved away to start anew. In this place, free of Brittany and John, I plan to forget everything and restart my life. I'm going to a friend's house today. She just had a baby. I ring the doorbell, holding a baby gift. My friend opens the door with the happiest smile. Congratulations! I sincerely offered my congratulations.